Let's move to the next question, and let's focus on your role. So, you are a product manager within your company, and this is for I think the event platform. What it does also is that it is a place where companies can host their own digital events, and you've been involved in the managing of this product for quite some time now. So, again, product management, I think. We've covered in other podcasts as well. It's a very confusing term because everyone seems to have a different definition of what product management is and what they do. Can you highlight these differences with what product management is and how it's relevant to the events industry? So let's start off with how is product management different for the event industry as opposed to, let's say, other PM roles, other products?
To be very honest, I don't think there's any difference when it comes to product management in an events industry, because at the end of the day, when you're talking about a product, at least in the 21st century, in the year 2023, you are talking about a product that has tech involved in it. You're talking about a product that has finances involved in it. You're talking about management in terms of people and also scaling the product in terms of operations. So I don't think it's any different from products in other industries for a product manager.
Okay, so I guess that goes to show that it doesn't really matter too much about what the functionality of the application is, because in this case it's digital events, but it could very well just be any other thing. But bottom line is it is an app that is on the internet and that needs to be hosted, and companies are going to be other companies and externals are going to be using it. So a lot of the concepts end up becoming very similar as along with or looking at other companies.
Definitely. So a lot of fundamentals, a lot of basics remain the same. Obviously, the subject matter varies from industry to industry, and that you can only gain through experience.
Yeah. Let's look at the next question. I think this is a very interesting question as well. So, why is product management important in this industry? So, I mean, we touched upon digital events in a couple of places, and it's become like this real innovation tool for companies now to hold digital events and to work with partners to enable them to do digital events, right? So, how is product management important for event management, and how does it give people like a way to give companies a way to innovate?
I think I've mentioned this previously in the podcast. When it comes to the events industry, and especially when we're talking about digital or online events, the biggest question every client, every product manager, every sales representative faces is how do we engage the people who are watching the event, right? So I think it, just as every product does in its own specific industry, the product in the events industry also comes with a set of challenges that have to be overcome. And a lot of it has to do with these small nitty-gritties that, if ignored, can make a huge difference, but if actively worked on, can make the event successful, right? So things like having the feature to add or to change the time zone in your event. Let's say I'm from Bangalore. One of my client is from the UK. I have a virtual events platform. Great. I want to set up an event for them. But if 99% of my clients are Indian-based clients, as a product manager, my only answer to having the start time and end time for the event would be to have it in Indian Standard Time. But if I get a client from who's not from India, it is very important to have their specific time zone listed as well, because when people go to the landing page of the specific event, they will need to see that the start time of this event is not in Indian Standard Time, but rather in the country that they're viewing it from. So stuff like these are really important to crack down, especially in the events industry, because a lot of it rides on these nitty-gritties. It's not that these nitty-gritties exist and you can ignore them. It is that you have to solve these nitty-gritties, otherwise the entire building collapses.
Yeah, it's actually a very good point that I think can slip under the radar so much, right? And I think that especially highlights how a product manager is extremely relevant in this industry, and not as opposed to others, but extremely relevant in this, just like how it is in some, like a product manager of Instagram, for example. Like all of these little features and small things that you tweak within the app ends up making a huge difference.